Hey folks, Bill Armstrong here. I'm going to give in this screencast a quick overview not only of the MyMathLab site where the course content delivery is, but also go over some of the course documents, stuff that would be normally handed out the first day of class. So first thing I'm going to say is, this is like the home screen. This is my view. Your view may be a little different, and that's because, I'm the professor of the class. So for example, over here on the left, you're not going to see test 2 preparation. I have it already preloaded, but you won't see it. Things that you will see. Course information. So let's take a look inside the course information tab. All right, so here in course information, you see there are 6 documents. There are PDFs, course syllabus, the academic calendar, the online orientation, the protocol for sending email, a list of the end of section homework to practice exercises, and then the final PDF would be have the answers to the homework to practice end of section exercises. So let's take a quick look first thing at the course syllabus. It looks like there's something really important in the syllabus. So again, here's the PDF. I want to say that I would encourage you to print out the syllabus, to have a hard copy of it on hand. This is something I would pass out the first day of class, so you should have it on hand. First thing I'll highlight here is my email address. That's the address you need to use to send me an email. Please use your Lakeland email account. Don't just type in WA and then select something that self-populates from that. You won't be sending it to the correct person. Use this email address for all emails to me. Folks, I'm really good about responding to email. I check my email several times a day. I see an email, I will reply to it. I will reply promptly to email. So if you send me an email and a day or two has gone by and I haven't replied to it, chances are you used the wrong email address and I never received it. My office is in the B building. It's 3056. I don't have any comment about office hours at the current time. Once I know what the college protocol is in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, then I can set my office hours and, I will let you know as soon as I know. Required course materials, you need a MyMathLab access code. You either get that at the bookstore or at the Pearson site. This site, MyMathLab, it contains the EText, videos, the exercises. It contains everything for the content delivery. I'm not going to use the Blackboard site for any content delivery in this class. You should have a graphing calculator. Let's talk about the grading structure. The class is worth 600 total points. I'll show you the grading scale in a moment. The breakdown for the 600 points, there will be 3 tests worth 120 points each. Now, the Lakeland Math Department policy is that all tests must be proctored. Well, in a normal semester, we would be doing our tests in the testing center or a testing center. So maybe the testing center at Lakeland. But due to the COVID-19 pandemic, in lieu of proctored tests, all of the tests will be online and there will be a time limit for the tests. So I'm going to use the time limit to be kind of, the fill-in for the proctoring part. Your test will be completed on any day the test is first made available. And, you can do it any day up to and including the deadline dates. And every deadline date and stuff like that will be shown on the academic calendar, which we will look at that in a moment. Table 1 shows you test coverage, what sections are in each test. Some quick test notes. As I just said, the test will be conducted online at the MyMathLab site. And once a test becomes available, once it opens, you will find the test in the online quiz area. That's something else I will go over in this screencast. The use of notes, books, formula cards, cheat sheets, etc. are prohibited during the test. The dates when each test is open and available, as well as the deadline dates, well, it's on the academic calendar. You can use a graphing calculator for the test. Deadline dates for each test are shown on the academic calendar, and I'll also put it in the weekly announcements. Weekly announcements is another item that I will go over here at the MyMathLab site in a moment. Here's a blurb about testing policies. I'll let you read through that, on your own. Online quizzes. There will be weekly online quizzes that you will do online at the MyMathLab site. Quizzes are in the online quiz area, and there's going to be 120 points possible for the online quizzes. And each online quiz will be due on Sunday that it's assigned. Each online quiz must be completed in one session. So if you start an online quiz, you have to complete it once you start it. And my third note on the online quizzes is you can take each online quiz up to 3 times maximum. So say you do the material that's on the academic calendar for the week, you have that completed by Friday, you feel like you're ready for the online quiz. You take the online quiz on Friday, and let's say you get a 7 out of 10 on it. You will see the ones that you missed. I would suggest, brush up on that material, and you still have 2 more opportunities to do the online quiz. And then number 3, there's a final exam, and it's worth 120 points. Deadline to do that is on the academic calendar. So if you've been keeping score, 3 tests at 120 points each. That's 360 points on the tests. There will be 12 online quizzes at 10 points each. And I already said that's 120 points. The final exam's 120 points. So that's 600 points total in the class. And then table 3, that shows you the grading scale that I will use to determine the final grade that you will earn in this course. Assigning course grades, I'll let you read through that on your own. Academic misconduct, read through that on your own. Just some general course tips. The homework, the end of section exercises, they are not collected. They are not graded. Only the online quizzes, the tests, and the final exam will comprise your grade. Now, the online quizzes, the tests, and the final exam will have problems much like those that are assigned as homework. So doing the section-by-section homework is probably the single most important element for success in the course. I also say keep up with the assigned sections and associated exercises. Don't let it build up. Don't wait until Sunday to do all of the sections that you should have been doing during the week and try to cram it in on Sunday and then, take the quiz on Sunday. Pace yourself during the week. Do material during the week. Don't let it build up. Feel free to use email as an opportunity to ask questions. Again, there is my email address. Before you send an email, make sure you read the protocol for sending email that's in the course information area here at MyMathLab. I'll go over that in a minute. You can read the rest of the general course tips. Learning the course material. I've been doing this online college algebra class for over 10 years, and this 4-step cycle of learning seems to be a pretty good way to attack the material. So step 1, you go to the MyMathLab site, and you're going to open the EText, and you're going to read the assigned section. While you're reading the EText, there will be links to videos and animations embedded in the EText, and they're done by the author. His name's Kirk Trigstead. So I encourage you to watch these animations and videos, and it will help you with the homework exercises. Folks, for many sections, not all sections, but for many sections, I will supply a link to a YouTube video I made highlighting the material in the section. I'll probably do some more examples, and I'll give you my take on things. These links will be found in the weekly announcements. Then the second step I have in my 4-step cycle of learning is, while you're reading the assigned section of the EText, after examples, you're going to see some you try it practice problems. Those are meant for you to immediately practice the concept or skill that was demonstrated in the example. So it might be a good idea to do a few of those you try it exercises. Again, the you try it exercises do not count for a grade. Your final grade is determined by the quizzes, the tests, and the final exam, period. Step 3, once you've made it through the section, do the homework problems at the end of the section. And I have a list of homework problems for you to do. We'll look at that in a minute. Again, these end of section homework problems do not count for a grade. It's meant to prepare you for the quizzes and the tests. And then finally, after you complete the sections for a week, go to the online quiz area and do the weekly quiz. And yes, the quizzes do count for a grade. And then there's an acknowledgement of syllabus statement. Something really important that you need here for quiz 1. I don't know how to highlight it any more than that. So that's the syllabus. So I'm going to close the syllabus, come back to the course information tab, and let's look at the academic calendar. Again, it's a PDF. I would encourage you to print this out because it shows the weekly section coverage and any deadline dates. So for example, it shows week 1 to do those 4 sections, and quiz 1 has a deadline of Sunday, August 30th at 11:55 p.m. Notice week 4 is just dedicated to preparing for tests. It'll be test 1. The calendar shows that on Friday, September 18th, test 1 will open at 9 a.m. It will open at here at the MyMathLab site. And then the deadline for you to complete test 1 is Sunday, September 20th by 11:55 p.m. So just, scrolling through real quickly, you see all the important deadline dates, and, you see the final exam will open Monday, December 7th at 9 a.m. and the deadline is Wednesday, December 9th. And that should say at 11:55 p.m. Also on the academic calendar shows you each quiz and the sections that the quiz will cover, each test and the sections that the test will cover. You've already seen this information in the syllabus. I will be redundant with information on several documents and with weekly announcements. That's your academic calendar, so print it out. It's your responsibility to know when deadlines are. Now I'm going to close the academic calendar, come back to the course information tab, and let's take a quick look at the online orientation. Notice the first thing I'm mentioning here is print out the course syllabus, print out the academic calendar. The homework to practice exercises, that shows what exercises from the EText you need to complete as you finish each section. And then the protocol for sending email. So I'm suggesting you print out and have a hard copy of these 4 documents in the course information tab. Up-to-date class information will be posted weekly in the announcements area of the MyMathLab class website. In the weekly announcements, I will include reminders of weekly section coverage, a reminder of the homework you should be doing, reminder of any due dates, etc. I will also in the weekly announcements include links to the section by section YouTube videos I have made for the material. I tend to post the weekly announcements on Sunday mornings, and they're the weekly announcement for the subsequent week. To get help, again, you can email me. There's my email address. I think that's at least 3 times now I've highlighted my email address. Read the protocol for sending email before sending me an email. So we'll look at that here real quick in a moment. Tutoring, I'm going to try to send you more information about any tutoring you may be interested in for the semester. Because of COVID-19, I think all tutoring is done remotely. But I should be getting a document that I will send to you via email. Reminder of tests, so you can read through this. There's one typo here. The test preparation tab, it will be available on the course MyMathLab site, not Blackboard. So that is a typo, not Blackboard, but MyMathLab. And, blurb about the policy of the math department, and then a reminder on quizzes. So that's a very brief online orientation. I'm going to close that and head back to the course information tab. Let's look at the protocol for sending email. Again, it's a PDF, so it's easy for you to print this out. Notice the first thing, be sure you have the correct email address. So I believe that's about the 4th time now I've highlighted what my email address is. I can't get the email if you don't use the correct email address. Please use your Lakeland email account when sending me an email. It allows me to recognize immediately that I have an email from a student. If you have a personal email account of sleekdime@gmail.com, I don't know that's necessarily from a student. And I do get a lot of emails, so please use your Lakeland email account. And number 3, I ask you to identify yourself. So just, at the very beginning, state your name and that you're in my Math 1650 College Algebra online course. Number 4, allow time for a reply. I do respond to email each day. You will receive a response within 24 hours. So if you send a message late at night or on the weekend, you may not get an immediate response, but you will get one on the next day at the latest. So sending multiple repeated messages doesn't help. I reply promptly to email. Be cognizant of your writing tone. That's true for email in general. Most everyone's pretty good about using complete words and sentences, instead of using abbreviations. State your question clearly and completely. And then tips for entering mathematics in an email. Well, this has been a challenge for, over 25 years. How to do mathematics in an email. Every student does it differently, and we work it out. So, that's about all I'm going to say, about that. And that's it for the protocol for sending email. So let me close that. Another document that I would suggest printing out and having a hard copy of is the list of end of section homework to practice exercises. So you see I have it broken down section by section. The EText screen where the homework will begin, and then the exercises that you should do for the section. So I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to close that. And then the final thing in the course information area are the answers to those exercises that I just showed you. I personally would not print this out and have a hard copy of. As you can see, it takes a while to load because it's many pages. It's like 52 pages. So if I were a student, when I'm doing the homework, I would just open this up in a tab, and I would have it open in a tab where I could check my answers as I do the homework. But this is where you'll find the answers to all the homework problems. So again, print out the course syllabus, academic calendar, online orientation, protocol for sending email, and a list of homework to practice exercises. You should have a hard copy of those. And a final time, notice in the course syllabus there is something important. All right, over here, let me, next let's look at the announcements area. I've talked about the weekly announcements. Again, you won't see all of this stuff here because, well, it's not open yet. I do have the week 1 announcements open, so let's take a look at it so you can generally get an idea of what these weekly announcements will look like. So, well, week 1's a little different because I start off with a welcome message and reminding you to print out some items that's in the course information tab, a reminder of something that's really important in the course syllabus. So let me just kind of scroll beyond that. Here's where a typical weekly announcement begins. I identify the week, and I identify, what defines the week. It looks like for the first 4 sections, I do have a YouTube video giving my take on the material, maybe doing some, extra examples. So let's see, I suggest you watch it in full screen mode and make sure your settings are in HD mode. Right click on the link and open in a new tab. So I'm going to do that. I'll just show you one of these real quick. Open link in a new tab. Let me look at my settings. I guess that would be good enough. And all right, folks, we're going to look at how to solve some polynomial inequalities and rational inequalities. And I'm going to show you how to use a sign diagram in order to do this. All right, that's enough of, listening to myself. Kind of brave at a chalkboard wearing a black shirt. But you can see this video. I spend about 24 minutes just kind of going over the material in section 1.9. I focus on what I think is the really important stuff. So this is where you'll find the links for, any of the YouTube videos I make. It will be in the weekly announcements. And as I said, here's a reminder. You know this information because it's on the academic calendar. But I repeat it again. What sections are covered for the week. I have a reminder to do the homework problems. And I list again the homework problems you should be doing for each section. And on what EText screen the homework problems begin. Again, that is something that you already know. This is in the a document I've asked you to print out, but I'm redundant sometimes in these weekly announcements. Online quiz 1, remind you where it's located, the online quiz tab. You can take it a maximum of 3 times, but once you start any attempt, you must complete it. There's no time limit to complete each quiz once you begin to take it. A reminder of when the deadline is for quiz 1. So that's a typical weekly announcement. So let me come back to the main menu. So we've looked at announcements, course information. I'm going to save EText for a little bit. Online quizzes. Here's where you'll find all the online quizzes. They're all ready for you to take, at this time. So, when you're ready to take online quiz 1, you'll come in here and you'll click on online quiz 1 and away you go. This is also where you will find the tests when they become available, when they first open. They will appear in this area. Next, let's look at the grade book. Folks, you will always know exactly where you stand in this course by looking at the grade book. When you look at the grade book, I haven't done anything in this class. it will pop up and immediately tell you what your current percent is. And that will be based on quizzes and tests and the final exam. So you will always know where you stand in this course. You can always check the grade book and see what your current grade to date is. Let's look at test preparation. And getting ready for a test, I create these test preparation tabs. And then well, you know, this one I have a study guide for test 1. Let's take a look at it. It's PDF, so you can print it out. You know, I remind you the sections that will be on the test. I'm telling you there's a 2-hour time limit to do the test. You know, reminder, you can't use any cheat sheets. You know, preliminary test results will be available at the MyMathLab website immediately after you submit your test. Now, folks, within a couple of days of the deadline, I review everyone's test, and I make any adjustments to your test score that I think is appropriate. And when I say adjustments, they're kind of in your favor. So, for example, if I felt a problem was worth 10 points and you know, MyMathLab had graded your answer as being worth 0 points, and I look at your answer and I can say, gee, if I were grading this by hand, I would have given you 7 points. That's the type of adjustment that I'm talking about. If I do make any adjustments to a test, I will send you an email notifying you of which questions I made an adjustment to and what the adjustment was. And in the study guide, you can see here's a table showing you a section, the EText screen that the exercises begin on, and the exercises you should focus on to get ready for the test. So that's the study guide. I also supply a practice test. Just, you know, so like you could take it yourself, time yourself, you know, print it out, take it. Make sure you can get this done within 2 hours. You know, things that you struggle with, that would tell you what you need to study a little bit more. I will provide answers to most of the items on the practice test, so you could check yourself. Notice I didn't say all, I said most. And then I have a link here to a YouTube video I made working through and showing solutions to most of the items on the practice test. So, you know, you could, you know, see me again working through some of them. So, you know, you could, you know, click the play button. Hey, folks, thought I'd work through most of the... That's enough of listening to me. So that's a typical test preparation tab. I already have the test 1 preparation tab open, and I have it completed because I wanted to show you it in this screencast. But generally speaking, you know, the week before the deadline for a test occurs is when I will open up the test preparation tab, and I would let you know in a weekly announcement that it's open. So we've gone through all the really important stuff here, except for the EText. So let's take a look at your EText. So you know it's here, and you click on the EText, and it might take a little bit of time to open up. Okay, once it opens up, here's the menu. So let me click on the menu, and it shows the chapters. I don't need to see that. So let me collapse that, and you know, I'm just going to jump in. Let's look at chapter 2, and I'm just arbitrarily saying let's look at section 2.3. You know, I'm going to close that so I have a little bit more room here. So up here, that shows you this is EText screen 2.3-1. You know, this is how you go through page by page. So it's just like a textbook. You can read, you know, so you can read. I see a little arrow. Oh, I bet this is a video. So what I told you, there were embedded videos in the EText. So let's take a look at this video.
In this chapter, we are going to work extensively with the equations of lines. Now before we do that, it's important that we understand slope. Let's have a look. So the first thing we want to do is we want to talk about the slope of a line.
All right.
The slope is a way for us to determine.
That's the author of the book. I told you would have embedded videos throughout. Whoops. So let me come back to close the video or animation. That's how I would close out of it. And so let me just kind of go through page by page. Here's a different icon. So let me click on that and let's see what this is. Let's see, display options. So if I do a show formula, it shows me the slope formula. Select the red coordinate points to move the line and change the slope. So, you know, it tells me the slope. This is the formula that's used. So I could, you know, move this to, you know, point. You know, I could move it back down here. You know, I could move it to here. You know, this type of video is called a like an interactive video. So I think that's what that G/V is, like graphical visualization, but it's an interactive. So it's not so much a video as it's an activity. So here's example 1. Find the slope of the line. So, you know, it's just like a typical math book. You know, you can read it and you can see the example. You could click the video and it will have the worked out parts. So it'll be the author going through it. So again, this is how there are embedded videos. And then here's that you try it that I was telling you about. So like after reading this example and or watching the video of working out this example, you could immediately practice some exercises. So let me click on it and see what this looks like. So find the slope of the line containing the pair of points. Oh, this is really important for me to highlight. These are directions. You have to follow the directions exactly when doing the quiz and the test. So if it says simplify your answer, you better simplify the answer. You know, type it as an integer or a fraction. If you entered the slope here as a decimal, it would be marked wrong because you're not following the directions. So, you know, on this one, let's say, I think the slope of the line is 1/5. But let me put in a wrong answer. And down here's a palette, so I'm going to put in the fraction. Let me put in 2/10. And let me see what it says. See, it's saying I'm not correct. I'll do okay. So let me come back here and let me change it to, whoops, 1/5. And it tells me I'm correct. So notice 2/10 is the same as 1/5, but it was marked incorrect because I didn't follow the directions. Please follow the directions when taking a quiz. So many times I'll get an email, you know, a student claiming that they have the correct answer, but it was marked incorrect. And it was just a result of not following the directions. So, all right, back to the EText. Let me just kind of click through this. You know, you can read, you know, a lot of videos. You see a lot of embedded videos. You know, I'm trying to get to the exercises. I don't remember off the top of my head what EText screen the exercises started on. All right, so, these are the end of section exercises. So I probably had, that the exercises started on EText screen 2.3-28. You can just type that in up here to go there directly. So this is where the exercises would begin. And the answers, I showed you where the answers to the exercises are. So that's the EText. Kind of a friendly EText, I think. So that's kind of a quick overview of the MyMathLab. So one more time, the only thing that counts for your grade are quizzes, tests, and final exam. Do not worry about anything that might pop up in your grade book saying a reading assessment or a reading assignment. You do not have to do those. They don't count for a grade. It says right here, like, these are assignments. These are not assignments for my class. It's just something that MyMathLab has in here, and I can't turn them off. So don't worry about them. The only thing that determines your grade are the quizzes, tests, and the final exam. So don't forget to print out the important stuff that's in here. I've highlighted that a couple of times, folks, so hopefully you've seen it. But that's pretty much it. That's your quick overview of MyMathLab. So you're ready to get going, and good luck this semester. And anytime you have a question, don't hesitate to send me an email. Thanks for watching.